Bit about Penman again, but first let me get around to the question for this week. And here what I want you to do. I want you to name me 2 calypso that have either patois verse and patois chorus, or patois verse English chorus, or English verse patois chorus. You have to give me 2 calypso from 2 separate calypsonians, you understand? The calypso, here how the construction of the calypso could be patois verse English chorus, English verse patois chorus, or all patois. I don't want all English, but I want 2 calypso from 2 separate calypsonians. You understand? Now, and when you get your right answer, you have to send it in by July the 10th, and you know where to send it. Send it to Cultural, Care of Guyana, 15 Supriani Boulevard, Newton, Port Spain. And now a little more information. And you could always find him and check out more information if you want. He's around Port Spain. I observe that some of you feel I can't say Port of Spain, but I'm busy. I have to do other things, you understand. And
all right, so that, of course, is Sprangalang. Carrie, you think you can answer any of them questions?
Not at all.
No, you don't know any calypso with patois in it?
No,
That's all right. I know a man who could answer it. I'm talking about Errol Fabien. Good morning, Errol. He's on the line with us to celebrate Sprangalang this morning.
Morning, everybody. Morning. How are you doing? Jaron, how are you doing?
I good. How you going, Uncle Errol? How you going, Uncle Errol?
I good.
All right, so we're talking this morning about the legacy of Sprangalang. I want you to tell me what it was like working with Sprang over the years.
It was like being in university. It was always a learning, a discovery, always something new, always something hilarious, but always something about building 3 colors, red, white, and black.
Yeah. My goodness. I imagine that as a comedian yourself, and, you know, Sprangalang being a comedian, you would have bounced up on several stages. Were you always, were you in any competition, or was there any camaraderie? Or how was that atmosphere in terms of the comedy world for you both?
Well, it was always, as it was with everybody, about support. Mm-hmm. So sometimes Sprang will listen to me on stage and say, hey, what about? And I will listen to Sprang and say, hey, what about? Or I will hear something that's really funny, but I know there's something for Sprang to do. Like, Sprang was, yeah, this happened to me so bad, and vice versa, and so on. And it was always about support. I mean, we literally have come from the same school. We both passed through Naprima College and the school of Lord Street. You know, right. Lord Street in San Fernando is like a kind of a institution, just like so many places and things that we've been involved with over the years. Naprima Bowl is a solid institution in our lives, as is Lord Street, as is Naprima College, as is the whole comedy fraternity, as is the theater fraternity. You know, all of these things have played so much of a role in our lives.
Do you think that these things still play a role in aspects of our culture, or has things evolved in a way where everything is online, everything is virtual now?
Yeah, well, a lot of things are virtual now, but we're talking about the foundation, yeah, as opposed to the structure that's on it.
Right.
And if foundational things remain foundational things, you know, no matter how much things are online, if I don't sit where there's light on me, if I don't have a sense of technical, which is foundational, then we might be having an interview where this is what we're dealing with.
And we don't want that.
You know? And we don't want that. So we have to stay with technical, and there are some things that are foundational, and, you know, Sprangos was always about those kind of things.
Yeah. Errol, it would be remiss of me to have you here and not discuss what took place last week. You know, there's a situation with regards to Gael and your home. And, you know, the nation and the diaspora gathered, and we decided we're going to help Gael, we're going to help Errol Fabien. I want to find out, though, firstly, if you have an idea as to how much money was raised and what happens next.
Yeah, I have a sense. On the GoFundMe, there was an initial outpouring when we closed the account of about $63,000. That's US dollars.
Right.
But FundMe always give people a space to say, oops, I didn't mean to. So it's settled at about 59 something.
Okay.
And that comes in bits and pieces from the platform. They don't get bam everything one time. So that is happening. And there's a local FundMe that itself has been closed and the oops thing still going on. And it's like just enough to get the immediate things done. I lost a lot of stuff. My fridge doesn't work. I had to get a new stove. Yesterday I had to go and get a discount and try to get a stove, which I'm going to set up today. But, you know, my whole life. And the thing is, in this case, Gael and my home are not separate because Gael is housed here. I'm sitting downstairs my home in this little studio. And, you know, it's both in one. So, unfortunately, if you only want to save Gael and you don't want to save me, it's hard to separate, you know.
The two.
But I have seen and recognized that outpouring of not just love for the work that is being done at Gael or love for Errol or whatever it is. I think what was said to me is that you have work to continue doing with Gael. We don't want Gael to disappear. You have to safeguard those archives better. We don't want those archives to disappear. That's the message
Definitely.
I got, you know. I didn't go out there for anything other than that. That's why when we got to the amount, we closed the fund, you know, because it's, I mean, as an entertainer, I'm suffering a great loss because of the
COVID-19 and the lack of, the creative sector has basically stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had one job since March. I've had one job, you know, and I used to survive by having a multiplicity. You hear that word? Write it down as a big word. A multiplicity of jobs, you know, in all areas, because I work in writing, producing, directing, in front of the camera, behind the camera, and I've had none since the lockdown started in March.
A lot of people, and that's how it's going to continue for a while, but we're going to find ways to work around and with it. And Errol, I want to continue to encourage you to do what you're doing in terms of keeping culture alive and keeping those archives safe and making sure that we have them hopefully digitized soon if they're not already if they're not all already digitized. And thank you very much for giving Sprangalang a place and for learning from him and for helping him throughout the career and for all the great things that you've done over the years. Thank you very much. Errol Fabien.
God bless you. And thank you.
All right, take care. Enjoy the rest.
Before you go, Errol.
Carrie has one question for you before you go.
Good morning. Before you go, what do you say is your greatest, what is your greatest memory of Sprang? Before we go.
I think one of my greatest memories of Sprang would be creating and helping to execute Cultural Sprangalang weekly when we met him to do the question and he'll work out on the spot what song he will sing, which calypso connects to what he's going to deal with, or which calypso connects to what he was dealing with, and, you know, just run through the whole thing and see his real pure genius at work. Those memories of Sprang, I mean, we travel all over the world, we do all kinds of things, we laugh till we cry, but those memories of Sprang when we were creating Cultural Sprangalang are the fondest and will stay with me the longest. But did you know, trivia, that TTT, of course, is where that program was broadcast from. Right. We made it in a production house. It aired on TTT on a Thursday night. But the first time Sprangalang appeared in the program, the management sent back a message to Banyan, the then management, of course, about why did they put this gorilla on TV and that we should remove him. Trivia.
Imagine that.
I am speechless. I don't even know how to respond to that.
How did the management, how did you guys respond to that, Errol?
Well, we make sure he was in it the next week and the next week.
What do you believe is the legacy that Sprang has left behind for us?
That we are all valid and have value, and we must cherish each other and keep our stories close to us, because they are the things that truly define us.
And that is the best way you could have ended this conversation this morning. I want to thank you so much, Errol, for joining us and sharing about Sprang. And I just want to say, just continue the work that you're doing. And you know what? We appreciate you. While you're alive, let us tell you, we appreciate you, Errol.
Thank you, Carrie.
All right. With that